ABC News has obtained excerpts of confidential videotaped interviews of two alleged co-conspirators charged along with former President Trump in Georgia. Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis cut plea deals on reduced charges in exchange for their cooperation. Ellis recounting a time at the 2020 White House Christmas party when she said Trump aide Dan Scavino told her Trump planned to simply refuse to leave the White House.
He said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care and we're not going to leave.
Ellis said she asked him, what do you mean?
He said the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. And I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize. And he said, we don't care.
What was President Trump's reaction when, I guess, this cadre of advisors would say you lost?
It was like, well, they would say that and then they'd walk out and he'd go, see, this is what I deal with all the time.
Council have agreed on the protective order.
Being transparent with the court and to make sure that nobody else gets blamed for what happened, and so that I can go to sleep well tonight. Judge, I did release those videos to one outlet. And on all candor to the court, I need the court to know that. All four of those people that did their proffers, they stood in front of you. They did their plea. It was all recorded. It was sent out there for the world to see. And to put those proffers, hide those proffers that show all the underlying things that went into those pleas, it misleads the public about what's going on.
The court has the power to control in the furtherance of justice, the conduct of its officers. And I combine that with the need to keep the jury pool as untainted as possible, the need to keep discovery free flowing in this process so that all parties can be prepared and to prevent pretrial surprise. We've already seen what may happen if a protective order isn't put in place. And I think a protective order mitigates, if not protects against all those entirely.
A Fulton County judge signed a protective order to prevent sensitive evidence from leaking in the 2020 Georgia election case. The ruling comes after Fulton District Attorney Fonnie Willis requested the order to prevent media outlets from leaking interviews with defendants who took plea deals. The order will likely prevent those defendants and their legal teams from sharing interviews, business records, or other documents related to the case.
Here's the thing. None of the recordings appear to directly implicate Trump. You could even argue that some might actually help his defense, which is part of why one of the lawyers may have leaked them. At one point in Powell's interview, she said Trump really believed he'd won.
All his instincts told him he had been defrauded, that the election was a big fraud.
On the 18th, the only real justification that he's giving you to why he's not bowing out is that his instincts tell him that he won.
That and the evidence that I'd showed him.
I have rarely heard a lawyer fess up so quickly. Why do you think that happened?
Well, to start with, I'm so disappointed that he leaked it because he had an obligation, an ethical and professional obligation not to do it. Having said that, why did he admit it? Because if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you said. And at some point in time, if he had not admitted it, it would have filtered down to him and whoever else, if anybody else, was leaking it. So he told the truth. If you have a problem, always let it come out first. And then later you can say, hey, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done it, but at least you got it out. You don't have to conceal it.